Okay, we're talking Cedarville University baseball for 2016 with head coach Mike Manis. And Mike, I know last year was a little bit of a rough ride by your standards, but what are you expecting here this spring?
Well, I think we'll bounce back. We've got some really young guys that are playing really well. We actually got outside Saturday so we could see what we could do on an actual baseball field, and they look good. We're gonna play defense. We're gonna hit well. The question always is, will we pitch?
Yeah. Well, how do you answer that at this stage of the year?
We don't know. What we've seen so far, we like. We've seen guys that are around the plate. Our injured guys are back and they're healthy and they're throwing, and that'll only help us.
Is there a specific way you would prefer to play, or what would be the style of play? I guess would be the better question for this team, as you would hope.
We just want to be a team that makes a lot of contact. We like to run the bases with some intelligence. We're not going to be a team that's going to hit the ball out of the field, other than a couple guys. We're going to have to hit to the gaps, drive the ball down the line, run the bases, steal some bases, and play good defense.
Talk about some players that are going to have to produce for you to be successful in 2016.
Well, I think it starts with Drew at third base. I mean, Drew Johnson is, everybody's dream as a third baseman. He plays well. He plays hard. He hits the ball as well as anybody in the conference and probably anybody in the Midwest. David Lenhart is back in center field. David had a little bit of a down year last year, but he has looked really good this fall and this spring. He's going to do a good job for us. And then on the mound, we've got Nate Robinson is back as our number one, and Garrett Baker's back off injury, and he should help us a lot.
Give me your impression of the GMAC. I know you're picked right in the middle of the pack, but how do you look at the league this year?
Right where we want to be, right in the middle of the pack. I think we have to earn it. I think we have to earn it. We have spurts where we've played exceptionally well in the GMAC. We've had spurts where we played really poorly, and we have to have some consistency. We're really young, and that's going to be a real advantage for us. And then other days it's going to be a real disadvantage for us. So we've got to be able to play. We've got to be able to play smart. And I think the GMAC's only getting stronger. I think the teams that are ahead of us are going to be stronger than they were last year, and our schedule is built so that we can be ready to play those games.
Here with Jaden Cleland, catcher for the Yellow Jackets, and Jaden, the 2016 is coming up quickly. As a player, just give me your impressions. What do you expect from your team this season?
We're a bit of a young team. We have a good mix of senior guys and freshmen, sophomores. I think we're going to be pretty good with our pitching staff. We got some experience there. We'll see how the offense goes. We have a lot of guys who I think can hit, but are still unproven. So we're kind of depending on a couple young guys to step up this year. We have a lot of new faces in the lineup after graduating, I think 7 or 8 guys last year. So it'll be good to see what the young guys do, and it'll be good to see how they react in that role.
Now, a little more responsibility may fall upon you. Not only have you been in the program a few years, but you're a catcher. So how do you see your role on the team offensively and handling the pitching staff?
Yeah, as being a catcher, the number one priority is always defense and handling the pitching staff. Me and Coach Manis, we both talk about how offense is always secondary for catchers. My first priority is to handle the pitching staff, obviously, which we have Nate Robinson, who's going to be our ace this year. Garrett Baker, who's coming back. He's going to be a junior coming back from Tommy John. Dave Bancroft, Jordan Adams. We have a host of senior guys who also have experience. And that kind of goes back and forth with I'm able to help them, they're able to help me. And that's part of the reason we feel confident about our pitching staff this year. Offensively, where obviously we have Drew Johnson. Everybody knows about Drew. Drew's the big man on campus. But just trying to fulfill your role. I think everybody has a role in the team, and one of the big things through fall ball into the off season has been finding your role and excelling in your position and what you need to do for the team. So for me, that's going to be driving in runs.
Last question, Jaden, talking about the GMAC season. Of course, Trevec has been the power, but just your impression of the league and what you'd expect in the conference this year.
Yeah, the league's getting better each year since I've been here. Obviously, Trevec is what Trevec is. We think that we can compete in the conference. Obviously, Alderson Broaddus is going to have a good team like they always do. Kentucky Wesleyan, the same thing. Ohio Valley was a lot better last year. It's a difficult conference to play in. If you look at our schedule is very front-loaded. Our first couple weeks when we go down to Florida, we play, I think, 19 games against ranked opponents in the region or guys who are getting votes in the region. So we're going to be well tested by the time we get to conference play, and hopefully that bodes well for us going into the season.